That's okay. Hi, welcome back. We're going to do a little bit of standing leg work, nothing too strenuous this time, but just a nice way to open up the hips and the legs. It's going to be a shorter one, but we're going to get in a nice, good workout. So I'm going to face this way. I'm going to face this way so that you see my whole body from the side. And then once again, we're just going to start with our arms up overhead, palms touch, exhale, hands down to heart center. And let's go ahead and take that right arm and drape it across the front of the body, opening up the right shoulder. And then take your left hand, press a hold of the right elbow and take it back behind you. Maybe adding pressure to that right elbow to really stretch out the front of the right arm. And then just switch out the arm. So this time we're gonna grab a hold of the left elbow with the right hand. Maybe your palm touches your back, maybe not, that's okay. Then we're gonna drape that left arm right in front across the body. And then once again, we're just gonna step up and we're gonna do just a couple warrior ones and warrior twos. So bring our hands to heart center. And then I want for you to keep that right foot forward and just step the left foot back. Ground down that back foot about a 45-degree angle. We're gonna have a 90-degree bend in the front knee. Then inhale, lift your arms up. Then on the exhale, we're gonna open our hands wide for warrior two. That back foot is now at 90. The front knee is still bent at 90. And then slowly step back up to the top of the mat, hands at heart center. Now we're gonna step the right foot back, put a bend in the left knee, same thing, opposite side. And arms lifted up, warrior one. And then exhale, let's open up warrior two. Really get to the inner thighs here and the inner legs. And then step it back to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms up overhead. Interlace our fingers and let's go for a little back bend, lifting up to the chest and heart, pressing the hips forward. And then just exhale, fold in, forward fold. Hang out here for a moment. Then inhale all the way back up to standing, palms touch overhead, exhale, hands to heart center. Once again, keeping that right foot forward, step the left foot back. Warrior one, so this is our second time here. Inhale, arms lift up. If your shoulders are feeling tired or fatigued, you can always bring your hands here to heart center or to the hips, you decide. Then exhale, open up those hands. Warrior two, relax the shoulders. And then step back up to the top of your mat. And this time we're gonna step the opposite foot back. Warrior one, once again, inhale, arms lift. Exhale, open up, warrior two. We're gonna step back to the top of our mat. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, fold in here. Let's hang out here for just a moment once again. Maybe step your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Grab opposite elbows, put a little bend in the knees, and let's just sway from side to side, taking it over to one side, and then slowly taking it over to the other. And then back to one side, and slowly taking it back to the other. Allowing our backs to decompress and relax. Come back to center, just hang out here for a moment, release neck and head. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, come up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, heart center. And we're gonna do that warrior one, warrior two sequence once again. So right foot stays planted up top, step the left foot back. Inhale, arms lift up. Breathing here. Exhale, opens us up, warrior two. Take some time to adjust the stance. We're opening up those inner thighs. Bring hands to heart center, step back up to the top of our mat. Now keeping the left foot forward, stepping the right foot back. Warrior one, inhale, arms lift. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Then stepping back up to the top of our mats. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, fold forward. Then come all the way back up, lift one vertebrae at a time. I'm going to turn facing you all. A few more minutes before we close out here. So let's go ahead, take our hands back behind our back, interlace our fingers, lift up through the chest and heart. Keeping your fists clenched together, let's take our clenched fist over to the right hip. So we're opening up the left shoulder here. If you want, you can tilt your head to one side or the other. Maybe relieve a little neck tension, stretch out the neck. Maybe drop your chin to your chest. Then back and lift up once again to that chest and heart, pushing the hips forward. Now bringing your fists to the other hip, still clenched together. Once again, you can lay your head to one side, stretch out the neck, take it to the other, or bring chin to chest. And then back to center. A few more minutes here. We're going to inhale those arms up once again. And this time we're going to release that right hand down to the side, left hand is lifted long. Or the side bend over to the right. So once again, opening up the side body. Inhale, hands back up. Release the left hand down, right arms lifted. Side bend over to the opposite side. Nice side body stretch here. Come back to center, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Just take a moment, drop your hand down by your side, and we're just going to do a couple alternate shoulder circles. So just moving both shoulders, one's going back, one's going forward. And then take it in the opposite direction. Come back to neutral. Release your chin to your chest and just roll your right ear over to the right shoulder. Chin back to chest, take it over to the left. And come back to center, inhale, arms up overhead, palms touch, exhale, hands to heart center. And once again, we're just going to take in 3 nice big inhales, in through the nose, open the mouth, and exhale. So nice big inhale in, open the exhale. One more nice big inhale in, open the mouth, exhale, let it all go. Last one, biggest one ever, nice big inhale. Exhale, let everything go, empty the belly. Take a moment to pause here. Enjoy the last few moments before you finish out your conference. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through your yoga practice and stretch this afternoon. Once again, my name is Sinead Angrick, and I work with Invoke Studios downtown and on 86th Street.
Thank you so much, Sinead. That was wonderful.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, this afternoon. I hope you caught the stretch that we just did, or the tail end of it. Huge thanks to Invoke Studio for giving us some of those stretch breaks this afternoon. I will go ahead and introduce Jules Fernandez, who is going to be our moderator today. If you don't know Jules, she is over at RadioNOW 100.9, who we love. And fun fact, I interned there when I was like, a baby. But yeah, I'll let Jules go ahead and introduce the rest of our panelists. This panel is sponsored by Ace Handyman Services North Indianapolis, who I personally have had in my home doing handyman services because my husband is not, but they are hiring and also looking for handy women. So we will put a link in the chat there if you know of someone who would be interested in that position. It's a new business, but fabulous. Can't say enough good things about it. So Jules, I will let you take it from here.
Leslie, I can invite her up. There we go.
Where are you, Jules? We lost you. Hold on. We'll get you here. In the meantime, I will go look for that link. Missing two more. My words are starting to fail me. I definitely misspoke on cluster truck earlier, which I'm sure you can imagine how that came out. So yay for the end of the day. Okay, you're all there. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Leslie. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. I'm Julie Fernandez, whatever you want to call me. I'm so excited to be here today and talk to all these lovely ladies and really let everyone get to know you. And we're talking about creating the life that you love. And again, this is sponsored by Ace Handyman Service North, which we do have Rebecca Simon on this panel of Ace Handyman Services North. Also Jennifer Magley, who is an author and speaker, and Dimit, who is a storytelling musician. I'm so excited to get to know you ladies. And obviously love and passion go hand in hand. And you might not love all aspects of your life at this point in time, but we're going to talk about creating the life that you love. So when you wake up in the morning, are you excited? Are you ready to go? Or you trying to hit that snooze button? What makes you guys tick? What excites you? Rebecca, do you want to go first?
Sure, absolutely. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I am excited because especially this new life that I've created in the past 8 months, I get to meet so many new people, and I just am so curious about them. I love engaging with women like this, and I've been able to learn so many new things transitioning from the corporate world into being a business owner. That just has really invigorated me and energized me. If I was at a networking event, if this wasn't virtual and we were in a room, I would totally be walking up to someone, and if they were sitting by themselves or looked uncomfortable, I'd be like, tell me about you, and tell me not about your business, but tell me about you and how I can be helpful. And that just really intrinsically gets me up every day. What can I learn? What can I learn about you, and how can I make a connection?
I love that. Bree, you want to go next?
Sure. Yes, I would have to say I 9 times out of 10 wake up and am enthralled and am so excited to just do something that I feel very passionate about. It feels like it's taken me a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, like I truly feel like just incredibly privileged to have found what I love to do and then also be able to do it for a living. And with that being said, there are days that are definitely harder than others, but I think that definitely goes into being able to appreciate the the really good days that I know that are ahead or I have experienced.
Jennifer?
Hi
What makes
there.
you tick?
What makes me tick? Gosh, I guess it would be, if I'm thinking about the mornings and creating a life that I love, I think it starts with loving myself. I recently realized that I never wanted to be in a relationship with someone who I wanted to change. We always are like that with our girlfriends, right? Like, don't date somebody if you expect them to change or if you want them to change. And I had a big revelation. I was a little bit sad, was at the relationship I had with myself, was that I wanted to change me. And so now when I wake up every day, I realize, how can I expand myself rather than completely trying to change? How can I love and accept these flaws and these things that are just, they're never going to be right again on my body or in my mind or broken parts of my world. And so that's kind of where I start in the morning, is trying to love myself first, so then it can extend into my life.
I think that is extremely important. And I think, we're all our own worst critics. I know that I'm my own worst critic. It's like every little thing, like, oh, I could have done that better. I don't like this. I don't like that. And I think that we need to kind of tone down that negativity. But I think that we also need to take responsibility, because we can't wait around to let others create the life that we love for us. And have you found that, that creating a life that you love is like ever changing? Is it evolving every day?
Yeah, I don't know if we're going popcorn, but to close out my initial thought, I'll say that I have found that in the past, I've constantly moved the finish line, so that even when I would finally win, it was never enough, right? It was never good enough. It was never fast enough. And the way that I'm able to feel positive is to create that finish line, which I talk about in my book, and cross over it and actually say, that was good. You did a great job. So collecting small wins really helps me. How about you, Rebecca? What about you?
Yeah, I mean, adjusting to change and I mean, last year was a perfect example of that, how I don't think it's a surprise. I think most people know I left the Indianapolis Motor Speedway at the end of last year, and what a challenge working in the event business was. And I think for me, it was embracing that change and allowing myself to kind of feel how I felt about that and honoring that, and then taking that kind of unsettledness and then, forcefully seeking a change. And I did that. So being able to take my passion for customer service and now own a business that serves the community, I'm just couldn't be happier about that.
Yeah, no, yeah, for me too. I feel like a lot, I mean, I want to piggyback a little bit off of Jennifer. I feel like it starts with me and how I feel about myself. And I think it's also about blocking out the noise. When you're creating a life that you love, it has to be true to you. And that doesn't look, I mean, it can look ugly to others. It can look amazing. I mean, it's just, you have to block that out, focus on you, focus what feels right. And that's really been a huge component to me really loving what I do.
And Rebecca, I know that, you talked about transitioning careers. So what was that moment that you kind of thought, okay, this is what I need to create the life that I love?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't able to service our customers last year, and that is where I get my intrinsic reward. And so to, be a part of history, which was a history we didn't want, of moving the 500 to August and not having fans, that moment really was when I was able to reflect on all of the adventure and experiences I had with the best professionals in the event business, but then realize that how can I take what I really love? And so that's where I went back to the network that I've built here in Indianapolis. I've lived here 20 years, moved here from Canada. And then I just really dug in and was open to asking questions. I didn't know that a franchise opportunity was available to me. I didn't know if I wanted to stay in the corporate world, but I felt there was a moment, and I just decided, I think Leslie said it earlier, like lean into that and get back to my customer service roots. And so that's what we're doing.
Jennifer, what did it take for you to create a life that you love?
You know, I'm still doing it. I'm still creating it. I too was laid off during the pandemic and got super famous for 15 minutes for being unemployed, which is something you never want to be. But a year later, I've been at the same role, which has been like a ram in the bush. It's literally like a godsend for me to be able to provide for my kiddos. But I'm so bored, right? So how do I create a life that I love in this meantime, in this transition? I just keep rebranding my life to myself. So I'll say, gosh, this job, it's so boring right now. It's the lowest version of my highest self. I think a lot of us can relate to that. And so I think, but if this job was the best in the world to me right now, what would I say about it? And I just start telling myself that story, and it kind of helps. It's a little hack that helps me.
Yeah, I think that's a good hack for all of us to take away from this. Bree, what about you? What does it take to create a life that you love?
Yeah, I think for me, something that has really helped me create a life that I love has been my emotional intelligence, my EQ, and my discipline. As a storytelling musician, I'm interviewing people on very personal informations. And so, you know, in order for me to successfully write their anthem and their song, I have to fully be able to understand their experiences and their stories. And I truly believe that I wouldn't be able to do that without my emotional intelligence. But then on the flip side, I feel like my discipline has been a theme, especially this past year, because, you know, when I thought about quitting my 9-to-5 and starting this life that I love and being my own business owner, you think about all the good. Love is this emotion that's good. And so you don't think about all the hats that you're going to be wearing, and you don't think about all the tasks that, in order for you to fully show up for yourself and for your business and for your clients, that discipline is really key to build in order to successfully do that. And so I feel like those two components have been really huge for me.
I think that was really important what you said about emotional intelligence. And I think that it's important that we all know what creating a life you love doesn't mean. And that doesn't mean being happy 24/7. And so do you have to learn to be comfortable with other feelings?
Yeah, I would say absolutely. I think it's really important for me to be very, very educated and constantly understand that I'm learning. I really consider myself to be a lifelong learner. I don't know everything, but I do believe that, you know, when my experiences come, I feel like they are meant for me. And so it's either an opportunity for me to learn, grow, evolve, and do better, or it's an opportunity for me to be like, that was good. Like I took what I learned yesterday or a year ago and applied that to what I'm doing now.
Rebecca, what about you? Do you have to learn to kind of, you know, learn that this isn't going to be happiness 24/7?
I mean, I would say through all the adventures and professional transitions I've had, I mean, everything's had sort of that bright side and the challenging side. And I think it's embracing that. So yeah, it isn't always happy, but you power through. And to kind of speak to opportunities, and what Bree was saying was, I think that's what has been one of the benefits of being able to pivot in my own life, has been like just seeing those appearances of opportunities when they show up, like those little doors opening and being enough curious to put your foot in that door, and not being afraid of those opportunities. And then I just barge through those doors. But you know, that's not for everyone, but I think being able to not just be stagnant or just stay where you are because it's comfortable, that's where, you know, I'd hate for someone to stay unhappy for that. You could be happier on the other side. It's not, the grass isn't always greener, but check it out.
Jennifer, so what advice would you give to somebody who feels like maybe that they aren't worthy of, feeling that they earned the life that they love, or maybe they're looking for something more to create the life that they love?
Yeah, I would say that the Queen of England didn't earn the life that she lives, right? She was born into that role. And a piece of grass, a flower, a tree, they're literally born into this earth. They're created, and they just are. And it's not even about worth. So if the Queen of England is who she is, and we've got a beautiful flower, that's who they are, you are enough being. You don't have to achieve, and I think that's the biggest thing to know, is that whether you achieve one more thing or not, you are more than enough, because you're here, and I am. Just I am.
I love that. That was fantastic. We talked about getting rid of the negativity earlier, and being our own worst critics. So following your own compass, I feel like that's kind of hard to do, because you have maybe friends or family in your ear telling you, maybe you should go this route instead, maybe you should do this. How do you find that how do you stick to your own compass, when there are all these outside factors, such as friends, family, social media, what have you?
Yes. Oh, I love this question. So I at 5 years old, I was diagnosed with epilepsy, and I had about 5 to 7 seizures a day. And because of that, my brain was wired to really struggle cognitively, socially, physically, mentally, I mean, you name it. And so when I was younger, I constantly was evaluating, I just want to be normal. I want to follow, I kept seeking outside validation, and I kept seeking what I wasn't, and I kept focusing on that. And instead, when I got older, I started dipping into actually what I can bring to the table, and what gifts I actually have. And I started to tell myself, I need to focus as much energy as I'm focusing on all these other things I'm not. I need to focus on all those things that I am, and grow that. And so I think that made a huge difference, and a shift of instead of saying, I can't do this, or, oh, that's terrifying, I shifted to say, how can I do that? So what works for me? Listening to me, and listening to my gut, and really following that. And that's honestly what I feel like I intentionally try and do with my clients, especially with the storytelling music process, is pulling out that light, and that resilience, and that brilliance, and that strength that I truly believe everyone has. It is hard though, because especially now when our world is so online based, and it's numbers based, and but I think I felt very privileged that I experienced that at such a young age, because when you're a child, a lot of your worth is evaluated on your standardized testing, SAT scores, whether you made varsity, whether you were valedictorian, and I wasn't any of those things, right? And so as a child, I just felt what do I have to offer? What am I? What can I contribute to this world? And I have a lot of things to offer, my emotional depth, my ability to bring the light and the good out of others, and my ability to, naturally cope through songwriting. And so I truly believe that it's really important for you to spend time to reflect, and spend time with yourself alone, to dip into your soul and what you love to do, what feels good. And intentionally, it's like building a muscle, making choices every single day to build that up, so that it becomes natural, that what you focus on isn't all these outside things, your likes, your whatever, and focusing on what's in here.
That was great. Oh man, that was good. I want to go to Rebecca, and how do you kind of control the chaos of life, so then you can make sure that you're living that life you love, and that the chaos isn't taking control of your life?
Well, I don't know that I do that, but I think there is something to be said for just what Bree was saying, just knowing who you are. I definitely lean on my, obviously lean on my family and friends and my faith, but I also, those boundaries are important. I think they talked about that in an earlier panel, like just making sure that it doesn't, the self-care, I know Leslie feels strongly about that, but I know what I need to do, especially now as a business owner. I have different responsibilities now, responsibilities for my employees and responsibilities for my clients. But, just prioritizing that and prioritizing myself. And I've had to, I dig into affirmations every morning, confirming to myself that I am worthy and I'm capable and that I can go forward out into the world. One of the quotes that got me through last year, 2020. It might not be a new quote for you, but it was for me, and it really just strengthened my everyday. And it was, you get what you have the courage to ask for. So if I'm struggling in one way, then I know that I can ask. I can ask any one of you for help if I need to. So that's kind of how I get by.
Jennifer, how do you control the chaos?
So have you ever seen those people that are spinning plates? On those long sticks? It's kind of a throwback image. So the way that I control the chaos is I strategically let plates fall. And I just say, okay, what am I going to fail at today? Today I might not be like super mom. That's okay. Maybe I needed a hot bath, and by allowing the plates to fall and being okay with that, I feel that I'm able to show up in every area of my life and be a little more present than I would be if I was still addicted to being the perfectionist as I have been in the past.
That's a really great analogy. I find myself doing that. I've never thought of it in that way, but that makes total sense because I find myself doing that. But I feel like we have to do that so that we don't get overtaken by everything and overwhelmed. Bree, could we be living the life right now that we love, but maybe it's clouded by all this outside chaos? Do you think?
Totally. Oh yeah. I mean, I think I think there are countless opportunities to distract you from what you want to do, what you're meant to do, and what you can do. And honestly, I really believe that, everything that you're going through right now is meant for you. So if you're in a place where you feel like, I don't like it, then you have the power and the ability to take the time to focus on what you need to do to shift, to make it what you love. But understanding, again, that like we talked about earlier, that loving what you do, there's still hard days and there's still days where you just don't love it as much. So I think it's really just a lot of reflection with you and knowing truly who you are and being able to block out that noise.
Yes, and something that you kind of hit on, I think that being thankful for what we do have is kind of important to help us know where, be more appreciative of what we're getting in the future.
Absolutely.
In a sense. So Rebecca, how long do you think it takes to live the life we love? Is this something that happens overnight, or can it happen overnight, do you think?
Oh gosh, no, I don't think. I mean, I think it's what you put into it is what you get out of it. But I think you're constantly, I'm constantly evolving and just really taking, some of those hard times and some of those high points. Everything I've learned in every career and every position I've held has got me to this point to be able to take this chance today. And I'm super excited to find out what happens after this. So I don't think it happens overnight, but I think it comes with awareness of what you want and where you want to go and who you want to take with you.
All right, so Leslie posed a question. She would love for a little rapid fire for everyone to name one thing that we love about our lives right now. Jennifer, you want to go first?
What I love about my life right now is that I am on a independent momlerette. So you've seen bachelorette parties and weekends, but I'm actually in Nashville, Tennessee with my two little guys to celebrate the fact that this is the end of our family as we know it since I'm getting married in May. So it's a huge moment. I became a single mother, something I never thought I could do. And to celebrate it with this momlerette, I don't know if that's the right word, is a really, really fun time. So that's what I'm loving.
Bree, what about you?
I would say my community. I feel like in this past month, I have built a community of just badass people. And I haven't always had that. I think I appreciate it a lot more. And I'm rooted in a lot more gratitude for them, because that's what I've always wanted, right? I wanted to feel seen too. And I see myself so much that I'm just really proud of myself. But then I wanted that to exude out to then bring in that same community. And I have it, and I'm so grateful.
Rebecca?
Yeah, what I love right now is actually being here talking with you. All of you, Bree and I spent some time together yesterday learning about each other, and I'm typically a behind the scenes kind of girl. You wouldn't normally, even before COVID, you would never find me on FaceTime or on a video, anything. And now to kind of be out talking publicly about my business and about connections, I'm just encouraged that I continue to learn, and I've already made so many great connections here. So what I'm doing right now, right this minute with all of you is what I'm loving.
I love that. And I'll go. Something that I love right now are my dogs. I mean, life is stressful. This pandemic has been stressful. I just love my dogs because they're always there for me and always, calming me down, getting me through the day with their snuggles. Love it. Ladies, before we hop off, how about we let everybody know? I think Leslie might have dropped some comments in the comments about how to connect with you on Instagram and whatnot. Can you guys just let us know how we can connect with you, website, social? Jennifer?
Yes, I am on LinkedIn. That's where I'm most active. And if you're looking for a random Instagram feed to follow, find me at Jennifer Magley.
All right, Bree?
Yes, on Instagram, I'm at Bree Dimit. I'm usually on Instagram, LinkedIn, and then my website at breedimit.com. And those, I'm happy to connect. I will put in my email in the box. I think our information is still in there, but if anyone ever, I'm always open to coffee dates and just learning more about how I can support you and learn more about your story. So if you are interested or willing to sit down with me for just 30 minutes, I'm an open book. So I'd be more than happy to do that.
Yeah.
Rebecca?
Yeah, so for Ace Handyman Services in North Indianapolis, we are a franchise, and we're new to Indy, but we're not a new franchise. It's been around for over 20 years. So, I mean, you can certainly just search Ace Handyman Services, and it'll get you to the right person in the right office. But I would love to hear from you myself. I'm on the LinkedIn's, I'm on the Facebook pages. You might even find it at AHS North Indy. That sometimes is an easier search for social links. But as Leslie mentioned, it would be my dream to have a team of handy women. So if you know anyone, send them our way. That would be so fun.
Thank you so much, ladies. I'm definitely going to be calling you Rebecca. I got a deck that I need fixed. So Leslie.
Yeah, and we do have one question. Before we wrap up quickly, Lorianne Perez asked, I feel like people pleasing holds me back often, and that's such a big one, right? Could you just quickly speak about how you overcame that if you did struggle with being a people pleaser?
Oh, I'm recovering. I was taught to always care about everyone else before myself. So I think that definitely made people pleasing very natural for me. And I'm still working on it. I think it goes back to, making the choices every day to put you first, which is unlearning, and unlearning from all of the noise around you that's telling you otherwise. And it's hard. It's definitely not easy, and I'm still working on it. So you are not alone.
Yeah, I too have, struggled with that in the past. I would say trust yourself. And that is so hard to do when you've made mistakes in the past that have impacted your present. You feel like I've betrayed my own trust. How can I even trust myself again? But trust that if that person is that meaningful in your life, they'll still be there. And if not, that's on them. We can only control 51% of the relationship.
Yeah, I think you can really please people better if you're just being authentic. And whether it's in business, people want to do business with people. And when in friendships and in relationships, just being authentic is going to, just you're going to dig in and be able to have those boundaries easier. So I think you're going to please yourself and you're going to please them easier if you just own what it is that you need. I think we're kind of taught to, get your lipstick on and put on a good face on a tough situation. And it doesn't have to be that way. Just honor how you feel and what you want and you need.
I love that so much. And before we go, I don't want anyone to run away because we have our big giveaway for the day. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for sponsoring this amazing panel with Ace Handyman Services, North Indianapolis, and Jules for being our awesome moderator. We love you and all that you do at RadioNOW, and Bree and Jennifer, you are just both rock stars. I also just want to say we had over 170 people registered for this conference over the course of 2 days. And my favorite thing, other than just, I learned so much. I met so many people. We made new friends. I saw connections being made. I teared up. I'm not a crier, really. I like to bottle it up for months and then have total breakdowns. I have had goosebumps a million times. Just most recently, you having your mom Marette or whatever, I'm sorry, party. I just got like welled up in goose. That's so sweet. And your sweet boys. I also loved too, every single panel, because of course I'm watching this, people do not drop off. For the last 2 days, everybody who showed up stayed. And that I think is so great, because you can tell me we have 2,000 people. And if I watch them drop down to 2, that we have such an amazing engaged audience. And so I just want to brag on all of us for that, the audience, everyone who has attended. So with that, I think I mentioned this earlier, but if you are currently a member, stay tuned, because I think fingers crossed, we're working on doing our first in-person meetup, socially distanced outdoor components, I think in May. So stay tuned. We're working on that right now. If you're not a member, in your email that follows up from the conference, we have a trial offer for you to join us. So please check that out. I think you will find that you're very happy here with this community, because why wouldn't you be? Look at these amazing women. And we will also share recordings. We're a very small team, as some of you know, so it might take a minute, but we will share recordings from the panels and workshops and follow-up materials. And yes, there is a 10% off Ace Handyman Services discount for members too, in the portal and in the perk portal. If you have not been in the portal, you need to go in the portal if you're a member, because that stuff is sitting there and you can save money on massages and plumbing and handyman services and lasagnas and all sorts of fun things. So like, I even have to remind myself that's there. So with that, the big giveaway for the day is on behalf of the Conrad Indianapolis, a deluxe accommodation with valet parking and breakfast for 2 at the Capitol Grill. So I also want to thank Sapphire Strategy, who is our web and marketing company, and they have been so instrumental in making this happen and not be a total disaster. So thank you to them. And Gabby has been running the show the last 2 days. So she put names, there's Gabby, in a generator for the winner of that. So it is, I lost it. Oh, Lorianne Perez, who just asked the question. So there you go. Yay, congratulations. We will, wait, you know what? Is there another good, hold on. I feel like there might be another, I could be wrong. Hold on, don't get excited. Oh yeah, so sorry. So that's the end of the entire thing giveaway, but we also have an Indie Maven box to give away. So Gabby, can you put in one more winner that was specific to the panel? So we have another gift box to give away today. I got ahead of myself. I was really excited about that hotel stay, because I stayed there personally. If some of you saw this back in, I don't know, a couple months ago, and it was the night I needed. So hopefully you'll be able to take some time away from yourselves too, for yourselves. And the other one is, I can see Gabby texting me. Jennifer Chapman. So yay, you will get a box from Indie Maven. We'll get with you. We'll send all the coordinates. And for those who did get premium boxes, Deliverend sent those. They're awesome service. We will continue to use them to send all of the things because it was such a wonderful experience getting those things to you. If for any reason there is a part of this conference that you did not get the link or the access or the swag or the what you think that you were supposed to get, please let us know. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thank you for being with us. You are also wonderful, and we will see you again soon. Thanks.